Most people think starting a franchise means writing a check for 150 grand, 300 grand, sometimes $500,000 before you even open your doors. Here's the thing, there are legitimate franchise models you can launch for under 50K. Real businesses with real revenue, not MLMs, not passive income schemes someone's selling you on Instagram. But there's a catch. You have to know where to look, what to watch out for, and honestly, what questions to ask that most people never think to ask. In this video, I'm breaking down some of the best franchise ideas for under 50K, what they actually cost to get started, which ones have real profit potential, and the hidden landmines that can turn a cheap franchise into an expensive lesson. Hey, I'm Michael. I'm the Vice President of Marketing at Corona POS. At Corona, we work with thousands of franchises and multi-location businesses across the US, everything from first-time owners figuring things out to growing brands adding their 10th or 20th location. I've spent years looking at what actually helps franchise owners succeed, and maybe more importantly, what quietly drains their cash behind the scenes. So I'm not going to just hand you a list of franchises. I want to help you think about this the right way. By the end of this video, you'll know which low-cost franchise ideas are actually worth your time, what hidden costs to expect before you sign anything, and how to pick something that can grow with you, not just get you in the door. So first, let's set some expectations, because when people hear franchise under $50,000, they usually assume that number covers everything. The franchise fee, the setup, the marketing, the whole thing. And usually it doesn't. At this price point, most opportunities fall into a few buckets: service-based businesses, mobile or home-based models, and smaller retail or kiosk concepts. That 50K typically covers things like your franchise fee, initial training, basic equipment, and your startup setup. What it usually does not cover, well, that's your salary while your business ramps up, which could be months, extra marketing spend if leads come in slower than you expect, or expansion costs down the road if you decide to grow. And here's the part nobody talks about. A lot of franchises at this price point also have ongoing royalty fees, usually a percentage of revenue that start hitting from day one, whether or not you're profitable yet. So make sure you understand the full cost picture, not just the upfront number. Bottom line, yes, you absolutely can get started under 50K, but the smarter question is, what kind of franchise actually makes sense at that budget? Before I get into specific ideas, let me walk you through the three main categories you'll run into at this price point, because understanding the category helps you figure out what kind of work you're actually signing up for. And I mentioned these three earlier. So the first one, home services. These are businesses like cleaning, lawn care, junk removal, pressure washing, handyman support, that kind of thing. Why do people like them? Well, low overhead. You're not paying rent on a storefront. Demand tends to be steady because people always need these services regardless of the economy. And a lot of these models are built around recurring revenue, like weekly cleanings, monthly lawn care. And these give you some predictability. Trade-off, well, they can be physically demanding, especially early on when you're the one doing the work. And labor is always a challenge, finding reliable people, keeping them, training them. And that said, if you want something practical that you can actually scale over time, home services is one of the strongest categories at this price point. There's a reason so many successful franchise owners started here. Now, category two, we'll talk about mobile businesses. Think about mobile pet grooming, auto detailing, windshield repair, specialty delivery services. Basically, any business that goes to the customer instead of the other way around. The appeal is flexibility and lower fixed costs. You can often launch with a vehicle and some equipment instead of signing a lease. That keeps your monthly overhead again way down, which matters a lot when you're in startup mode. But mobile businesses come with their own challenges. Your day lives and dies by rescheduling and route efficiency. One cancellation can throw off your whole afternoon. And you're heavily dependent on customer reviews and word of mouth. If your service slips even once, it shows up online really fast. Now, category three is low footprint retail. This includes vending machines, kiosks, small food concepts, or specialty pop-up retail. These can be attractive because they're more visible and brand forward. The customers see you, they recognize the brand. There's a built-in level of trust that comes with this sort of physical presence. But here's where people get tripped up: foot traffic, lease terms, and inventory costs. A kiosk in a dead corner of a mall isn't going to save you just because it was cheap to set up. And inventory-based businesses tie up cash and product that might not move as fast as you had planned. This is also where systems really start to matter, but I'll come back to that later. A quick pause here. If you're serious about finding affordable franchise opportunities and learning how to actually run a profitable business, hit subscribe in the text below. We put out real world franchise insights that can save you time and money, no fluff. All right, let's get into specific franchise ideas for under 50K, starting with some of the most realistic, proven entry points. Number one, residential cleaning franchises. The startup range here is 20 to 45 grand. Cleaning is about as straightforward as franchise models get, and that's a good thing. There's low startup costs, simple operations, and here's the big one, recurring revenue. Once you land a weekly or bi-weekly client, that revenue keeps coming in month after month without you having to resell every time or keep marketing to new customers. These are best for owners who don't mind being hands-on in the early days. You'll probably be doing the cleaning yourself at first, then gradually hiring as you build a client base. The upside, predictable repeat income, relatively easy to train new staff, and cleaning is recession resistant for the most part. People cut back on a lot of things before they stop getting their house cleaned. The downside, hiring and keeping good employees is the number one challenge in this space. Turnover's high. One bad hire can cost you a client. And margins also can be tight if you're competing on price. So differentiation and quality really matter. And what to look for? A franchise that gives you strong systems for scheduling, invoicing, and customer management. Now, what to look for technology-wise? Well, franchise POS that gives you strong systems for scheduling, invoicing, and customer management. That operational backbone is what separates the franchises that grow from the ones that stay stuck. Okay, number two, mobile pet services. The startup range here is 15K to 40K. This could be mobile pet grooming, pet waste removal, pet sitting, or dog walking services. The pet industry is massive and it's still growing. Americans spend over $150 billion every year on their pets. And a lot of that spending is non negotiable for pet owners. This works well if you want a service business without a storefront. You go to the customer, you do the work, and your overhead stays low. So the upside is you get a loyal customer base. People who love their pets don't shop around much once they trust you. And the emotional connection means they're often willing to pay a premium for quality service. The downside, route management is a real logistical puzzle, and demand can be seasonal depending on where you are. Pet waste removal slows down in winter in some markets. Grooming demand can spike around the holidays. So, pro tip on this one, if you go this route, pay close attention to the franchise's booking and scheduling tools. The difference between a profitable day and a wasted one often comes down to how efficiently your routes are planned. Number three, vending machine franchises. Here, the startup range is huge, anywhere from 10 grand all the way up to 50 grand, depending on the machine, your inventory, your location, and things like that. This is one of the more passive leaning options on the list, and it's appealing for people who want to keep their day job or run something alongside another business. You're not managing employees, you're not on site all day, but you are restocking, you're maintaining, you're optimizing. So the upside here, there's low staffing complexity, relatively flexible schedule, and if you land the right locations, the margins can be really solid. The downside though, location's everything. A machine in a busy break room or a gym lobby can absolutely print money. The same machine in a quiet hallway, it just collects dust. And securing good locations takes hustle. It's not as simple as a vending franchise brochure might make it sound. So what to watch for? Some vending franchises lock you into buying inventory through them at marked up prices or require you buy specific machine brands. So read the fine print on supply agreements before you commit. Number four, senior care referral or non-medical support franchises. Startup range is a little more expensive here, 40 to 50K on a low end. This can even go above 50. And with an aging population, there's about 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 every single day in the US right now. So demand in this space isn't just growing, it's accelerating. Senior care referral services connect families with caregivers, assisted living facilities, or non-medical support like companionship, transportation, or meal preparation. This is a great option if you want more of a purpose-driven business with long-term demographic-backed demand. It's meaningful work and the need isn't going away. So the upside is a huge and growing market, high lifetime customer value, and the emotional importance of the service means families are willing to invest in quality. Downside, trust and reputation are everything. One bad referral or one lapse in service quality can damage your business forever. You also need to navigate a regulatory landscape that varies by state, so make sure the franchise has strong compliance. Now, key question to ask: how does the franchise help you build trust locally? Look for models that emphasize community relationships, referral partnerships with hospitals and doctors, and strong review management. Number five, specialty mobile repair or maintenance franchises. Startup range here is 25 to 45K. This could be windshield repair, power washing, light restoration services, screen repair, services that come to the customer and solve a smaller specific problem quickly. These can scale well because margins are often strong. A windshield chip repair might just cost you a few dollars in materials and take 20 minutes, but you're billing 75, 100, $150 for it. Power washing a driveway might take an hour or two with equipment you already own. So the upside here is you have high margins, repeat customers, especially on the commercial side at least, and relatively simple operations once you've got your process dialed in. The downside, you need consistent lead flow. This isn't a build it and they come model. You need a steady pipeline of new, some returning, hopefully, customers, which means marketing, follow up, and local SEO. So, what separates winners here is a franchise that gives you a strong marketing system, not just a brand name. Ask how they help you generate leads in your specific market, not just nationally. So that brings me to the biggest mistake I see people make with low cost franchises. And honestly, it's the mistake that sinks more franchise owners than anything else at this price point. They focus entirely on startup costs and ignore how the business actually runs day to day, including the cost of doing so. A franchise can be cheap to open and still expensive to operate. If your systems are messy, if you're tracking inventory on spreadsheets, if your reporting is unclear, if training new employees takes forever because nothing's documented, all of that costs you money. It just shows up on your P&L differently. So before you buy into a franchise, ask these questions. How are your sales tracked? Is it real time? Or are you waiting until the end of the month to find out what happened? How is inventory managed? Do you have visibility into what's moving and what's sitting, or are you just guessing? How easy is it to train new staff? Is there a system, or are you reinventing the wheel every time someone quits and a new person joins? What happens when you want to add a second location? Does the tech scale, or are you just duct taping together a new setup every single time? The franchise owners who win long term aren't always the ones who spend the most upfront. They're the ones who pick a model that they can actually operate well, and that comes down to having the right systems in place from day one. So all that to say, if you're exploring franchise opportunities, you want to understand the operational side, like payments, inventory, reporting, multi-location management. That's exactly what we do at Corona POS. When we don't do it for all kinds of franchises, we don't service vending machines or do cleaning service businesses. But we do help franchise owners simplify their operations so that they can spend less time putting out fires and more time actually growing. So if that sounds relevant to where you are right now, check us out. There's a link in the description below. And if you want more videos on franchise costs, systems, and how to avoid expensive mistakes, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Check out this next video if you want to learn how to evaluate a franchise before you sign anything. That video could save you from making a very costly decision. So I'll see you there.